form already, so we could get started if we wanted to.
Can't recall, we do a pledge allegiance still?
Yep, I got your,
I didn't see that on there.
there's two pieces. The holdup one is for the limited land use.
Right.
Then the other one is
It doesn't have any.
it doesn't have the pledge.
We
Oh, I
can
just,
do the pledge.
I even looked at the BE, the call to order and roll call.
So we'll do it before we go.
mhm.
We should do it before roll call. 7:05, I want to call the meeting, planning commission meeting for June 11th, 2026. Stand for a pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Beth?
Yes.
Chair Greg?
Lisa.
Lisa?
Jamie Bevier, Brand
Quinn? And
Joe San
Joe,
Diego,
city
city manager.
manager. Okay. All right. This is a different,
Yeah, so you're
it's a
okay.
different script, yeah.
So we have.
We have a quorum.
Mhm.
Just,
We do not have a quorum, or we do.
No, we do have
Adoption
a quorum.
agenda. Is there a motion and a second to?
So, Beth, you mentioned you wanted to add something. This is where you would.
Yeah, could I just speak at the very end of the meeting tonight about the solar farm, just an informative update of where it's at?
Sure, so you just need to make a motion to add that to the agenda. So,
Can I make the motion?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to add a line item for an FYI update on the solar farm at the end of the meeting.
I second.
All those in favor?
I.
Aye. That's approved. As an agenda item at the end of the
Thank you.
council, of the planning meeting. So we still need to adopt the rest of the agenda.
And then you adopt it as modified.
Modified.
So I make a motion that we adopt the modified agenda.
Can we have a second?
I will second.
All in favor?
I.
Aye.
It carries. All right, citizens comment. Any citizen comments today?
No, I'm just here to understand.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep. Just for clarification, I know it might use some people's first time. This is a limited land use, so there's no public testimony period. But if there's citizen comments, this will be the best time to share those comments. So.
So I'm just curious if there's, is it just the dividing of the lot?
Yes.
So at this point, there's no plan? Okay,
Right. Correct.
thank you.
No problem.
And just for some more clarification on that, because over the years, even us commissioners have had questions about that. If and when something's going to happen with a business or a building or something, that's going to go through all the same process. So there will be plenty of time to comment on it at that point.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Ben.
Mhm.
consent agenda is the staff report.
Yes, I got the staff report there with some of the building permits that we've received lately, notes from a pre-application meeting we had a couple of weeks ago, because the planning commission had requested that. Nothing too out of the ordinary, so overall, pretty straightforward. And then the meeting minutes from the last one, so we just need a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So approved. I'm watching you do all these updates in eScribe.
It makes it where by the time we finish the meeting, I got the meeting minutes all done.
Right.
Saves so much time.
They will, they really will. So, now, this is active, this is staff report, building permit records and prior month meetings are all there, carried. Now the public hearing.
And you got that script there in front of you, the one that with the folded,
Okay.
it's from my fancy new printer.
Limited land use review hearing. It is, and I hereby open this hearing to consider the request from James Harrison of a petition application for the property at 32930 Highway 99E. The application decision criteria will be discussed with the presentation of the staff report. All evidence must be directed towards the criteria and other criteria in the comprehensive plan or city ordinances that the person believes apply to the decision. Failure to raise an issue with sufficient detail to allow the decision makers and all parties to respond to the issue include the failure of the applicant to raise constitutional or other issues related to the proposed conditions of the approval, means that no appeal may be made to the State Land Use Board of Appeals and no action brought for damages in the circuit court based upon that issue. Are there any ex parte contacts, conflicts of interest, or any bias to be declared by any member of the planning commission?
No.
No.
No. Does any participant wish to review any disclosure or lack of disclosure of the part of the planning commissioners? Okay. May we please have a staff report?
This is a land use application for a partition tentative plan to divide one existing lot into two parcels, including a 6.78 acre CC parcel and one 88.03 acre EFU parcel. Subject property is located at 32930 Highway 99 East and contains an existing single-family dwelling, multiple accessory structures, which are storage sheds and farmland. The property is currently split zone CC community commercial along Highway 99 East and EFU exclusive farm use on the interior side of the property. The applicant is proposing a tentative partition plan to separate the split zone property into two parcels, one entirely EFU and one with a majority CC with a very small portion of EFU due to the existing shed location which runs through the zoning line. Limited land use reviews require notification to property owners within 100 feet and affected agencies at least 20 days prior to the review. We emailed the notice to property owners on May 11th and emailed it to affected agencies on May 15th. Written comments may be submitted to the city by today at 5 p.m. and at the time of the staff report, no written public comments have been received, and I'll just confirm with Joe that we haven't received any additional ones.
No additional public comment.
So then I will go through the decision criteria for a partition tentative plan, which is in section 2.328, and it's going to start on page 17 of the staff report. So a subdivision or a partition tentative plan shall be reviewed by the planning commission. Approval for compliance with the submittal requirements specified above and the following findings. First, the proposed land division does not conflict with the city's comprehensive plan or statewide planning goals. Staff finds that this criterion has been met. The city's comprehensive plan in conformance with the statewide planning goals are implemented through the tangent development code, and the proposed land division meets the standards of the TDC. Criterion number 2, the proposed land division complies with the standards of the land use zone and does not conflict with any city codes and ordinances that are applicable to the land division. So this complies with the standards of both land use zones and does not conflict with any city codes or ordinances that are applicable to the land division. As I mentioned, the property is currently split zoned with the majority of the property zoned EFU and a small portion zoned CC community commercial. And within the staff report, I won't go over each individual zoning district, but the development standards have been addressed for each of those zoning districts. Number 3, as a condition of approval, the proposed land division shall comply with the standards and requirements of ORS Chapter 92 and the reporting requirements of the Lynn County Surveyor, and that can be met at the time of final plat as a condition of approval. Criterion 4, the proposed land division does not have an adverse impact on pedestrian, bicycle, and vehicular safety and complies with the tangent transportation system plan and the tangent public works design standards. So the proposed land division does not have an adverse impact on these systems. Parcel 1's frontage is along Highway 99 East, which is unimproved. Any required street improvements would be subject to future ODOT permitting. Public Works Standard 2.14.01 requires street improvements with all development. And per the Tangent Development Code, the term development does include land divisions and partitions. However, because the intent of this proposal is to align property boundaries with the existing uses and zoning designations, and no land use changes or new construction is proposed, staff finds that frontage improvements may be exempted or deferred. As a condition of approval, frontage improvements shall be 1, deferred via recording of a non-remonstrance agreement, or 2, installed upon further partition, subdivision, or increased land use of parcel 1. Parcel 2 does not have improved access along Gloss Drive and will need to have an access easement through parcel 1, and that can also be met as a condition of approval. Criterion 5, water, wastewater disposal, and utilities are available and have the capacity to serve the proposed development or use. The City of Tangent does not operate a public water system. There is an existing well to remain on parcel 1. ORS Chapter 92 does require that no plat of a subdivision shall be approved without certification by the owner of a privately owned domestic water supply system, subject to regulation by the Public Utility Commission, Oregon. That water will be available to the lot line of each and every lot depicted. This is a partition plat, so this standard should not apply. However, the applicant has indicated that each parcel will be served by a private well with a minimum peak hour demand of 5 gallons per minute. And again, we've added that as a proposed condition of approval. Criterion 6, proposed utilities and access do not preclude extension beyond the proposed land division to accommodate future growth. Staff finds that extensions from the subject property are not needed as adjacent properties are developed or have potential for development without requiring infrastructure extensions from the subject property. Adjacent developed properties have frontage and are adequately served by public utilities, including sewer, electricity, and access points. Further, the partition plan does not include further construction, which would require additional utilities or access points at this time. Criterion 7, the proposed development or use does not have an adverse impact on drainage ways serving adjacent properties, and that required drainage facilities are provided that have the capacity to support the proposed development. Staff finds that the proposed development does not have an adverse impact on drainage ways serving adjacent properties, and required drainage facilities do exist that have the capacity to support the existing uses. Drainage is provided by a roadside ditch on the west side of Highway 99 East, and the subject properties are generally flat, and no new impervious surfaces are being proposed, so there should be no impact on drainage. In Criterion 8, the natural site features identified in Section 2.324, subsection 7 have been given consideration for preservation and utilization of the development. Staff finds that the proposed development has identified and considered the preservation of natural site features. The property does not contain any rock outcroppings, wooded areas, or isolated preservable trees. The property is partially located within a special flood hazard area. There are no mapped wetlands or riparian areas on the site, and the partition tentative plan does not include any development at this time that would impact natural site features. Because staff finds that these criteria have been met, we recommend that the Planning Commission approve the tentative partition plan subject to the proposed conditions of approval as identified on page 25 of the staff report, and I'll just go through those really quickly. Proposed conditions, number 1, within 1 year of partition tentative plan approval, the applicant shall submit a partition plat prepared by a licensed professional land surveyor for review and approval by the Lynn County Surveyor in accordance with ORS Chapter 92. Condition 2, prior to submittal to Lynn County, the applicant shall show the following information on the final plat: access easement to parcel 2 and future private well to serve parcel 2. Condition 3, at the time of final plat recordation, the applicant shall complete the following: record a non-remonstrance agreement for deferral of street frontage improvements and record a split zone covenant. And condition 4, following Lynn County approval, the applicant shall provide the city of Tangent with a copy of the recorded plat and all associated conveyance documents for inclusion in the official record file of the land use section. And that is the conclusion of my staff report.
So, well, now time for questions.
Questions,
for
yes.
staff.
Yes.
So you talk about the one little bit of EFU because of the shed. Where is that? If I look at the main map, is that the
If
map?
you
I
go
should
to
look
the
at?
very end of your packet, to the
To
attachment,
okay. Mhm.
third to last page,
The one with the, yeah, that guy. Mhm.
yeah, so the one right after that, is there another?
I don't seem to have another. Oh, wait, maybe
Yeah.
way back here, these guys?
Oh, these-
Okay, which map
So
should
the one
I
at
be
the
on?
bottom that says
Sheet 3 or
sheet 2 of 3.
2, 3, okay.
So if you look, this is the very easternmost portion of the property. So if you look at that line where it's going up, the dashed line, you'll see exclusive farm use zone and community commercial zone. That's the line there.
Oh, okay, I've seen that. So I see the pole barn, a regular barn.
It's that barn right there, yeah.
Okay, but a little tiny bit of it is gonna be in the. So,
So if they were to split the property along the zoning line, exactly,
Yeah,
it would be
mhm.
running through this barn, you would need variances to setbacks and things of that
Okay.
nature.
so then, so why isn't, all right, let me make sure I'm understanding this. Exclusively farm use, right? We're gonna say this little piece is exclusively farm use, and this is our community commercial. We're gonna have a little bit of the barn here. If we had done the split here. Why didn't we split here? And to have this all be exclusively farm use? Why did we make such a big dogleg?
That may have not met setbacks,
Oh, okay,
or they may have just wanted it to do this way, so they were all mostly on one,
okay,
rather than having one on the EFU parcel and one on this parcel.
so parcel 1 is gonna be made up of 2 zones, the EFU and a community commercial. Parcel 2 is only gonna have EFU.
Correct. And if you look at sheet 1 of 3, it shows the entire site. So that giant parcel 2, that's like the main center, that's the EFU parcel
And
proposed.
there's, okay, so again, devil's advocate here, why don't we just come like here and make this parcel 1, and then this whole EFU would be together? I guess I'm not understanding why we don't want to just keep the EFU, because, I mean, because how many acres is that little piece? EFU is usually gotta be,
Right, and that's essentially what recording of the split zone covenant will do. It'll prevent anything from essentially being done on this piece. They'll protect the community commercial zone here. You're just gonna have like a little leftover piece that'll probably return to the sheds.
right, but normally we don't go less than 80 acres for exclusively farm use.
Correct.
So I can understand using the covenant to do it, but why not we just do this up here?
If you wanna take testimony from the applicant, I don't know if they're on.
We do have Kyle from Udell Engineering who has had to come on in case he'd like to answer any questions.
Yeah, I guess well, let me ask this question first. Can you explain more about the covenant? How that works and things?
So that's just something that acknowledges that the applicant is creating a split zone parcel, and that it's not one zoning for this parcel, that they need to be this will need to be treated mostly as community commercial as it sits now. If there's a remaining piece that's exclusive farm use that may not be able to be used for those commercial uses.
I feel it's really important that we have ordered growth and development and tangent, and that we're treating all properties the same. Doesn't matter what the property is, who owns it, or whatever. I think it's really important we don't set any sort of precedents. I'm very concerned about how many acres this is, because I'm sure it's less than 80. If parcel 1 is 6.78, it's probably just an acre or so, that we are creating potentially a 1 acre EFU parcel. I think that's wrong. That's just not something we do. We don't make small EFUs in Lynn County. So like, for instance, if I wanted to parcel off my EFU, I can't do a split and have one of 50 part 1 and part, I mean, we just don't do small things of EFU. So I guess I need to understand that, why we don't just move that line and put the EFU all together. And
That would be a question for the applicant.
okay,
This is the application that was presented to us.
okay, perfect, thank you. That was my only question. It was a good staff report.
Any other comments, I guess? Here.
Just, Kyle, was there anything you want to add in regards to that?
Yeah, hi, this is Kyle Latimer with Udell Engineering. I just want to be clear that the EFU parcel is not a standalone parcel. The 1 acre is attached to the commercial ground, is not a standalone independent parcel.
True. I mean, it doesn't have its own tax lot and things, but we are saying, here's this small little piece of exclusively farm use, and what if they want to put, a house or a building on that? Help me understand, Kyle, why we just don't take that chunk and add it to parcel 2 and add that little dog leg in there.
Yeah, it's because the structures are there, and if we follow the zone line, it would bisect the existing structures.
Right, but what if we move, so where the zone line is, if we just went east a little bit on the other side of the structure and then put the parcel line there instead?
Then you'd have a split zone EFU on the other side. You'd have an EFU parcel with partly commercial rather than EFU with a small part of commercial.
And can't there be a variance for that community commercial into exclusively farm use for that little piece?
Yeah, we could have gone the reverse and done an acknowledgement, but the applicant wants the structures to remain with the house.
So where is the house? Is that the
Parcel 1,
SFP?
yeah, that's the single family dwelling.
E?
It's south. South end.
Yeah, so it's right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I appreciate that, Kyle. I understand it. I don't like it. So how do we make sure that no house ever gets built on this little dogleg EFU?
Well, houses aren't permitted outright in EFU ground, so he'd have to demonstrate a conditional use, which would come before you again.
Okay.
if you attempted to do that, which I don't think there's 1 room, and 2, I don't think the code really permits that, even if you did want that.
Okay.
From what I understand, it wouldn't meet the criteria for a dwelling
Mhm.
EFU. And
No, it
community-
definitely
in
wouldn't.
community commercial, a standalone single family dwelling is not even a permitted use. So the existing one that's there has to be treated as a non-conforming use and meet non-conforming standards, so.
Well, what Beth is also concerned about, it's gonna be zone commercial. What if they just come in and assume that the rest of the property there is commercial? And they make it a big asphalt parking lot or something
Well,
like
they
that.
can't do that without any type of approval.
So that would
Without
be-
approval, but somebody could come in and just do it, is what I'm saying. People do that.
Couldn't someone do that anywhere though?
True.
So,
That's what we're concerned about.
yeah, so that would end up showing up on the title. So this covenant would show up on the title for parcel 1, that this is in there, and that's binding. Okay, I still don't like it, but I can, I'm gonna take off my Beth hat and put my planning commissioner hat on and embrace that this is what the rules allow. And so it does make sense. So I appreciate everybody clarifying that for me. I'm very protective of our EFU and Camden.
That's what we're here for.
So that was my only question issue. How about you two?
That was mine. You nailed it. I was questioning that also, why it was there, Beth.
And as the planning commission, I do want to add that you also have the authority to, revise these conditions or impose additional conditions. So if there's some more clarity you want on, this particular leftover piece of EFU to be included as a proposed condition, that's something you can do.
Yeah, I think I'm comfortable with that because like we've talked about before, if somebody if they were to pave it and they hadn't come through and gotten approval, they would have to take it out, and things like that. So, yeah, I think we're fine.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Mm-hmm. And did the city receive any written comments before tonight's meeting?
No.
Does the applicant waive the 7 days allowed by state law to submit a final written argument?
So,
I'll call for deliberation and any questions the commissioners may have for the staff. Following deliberation, the commission may make its decision or continue the hearing to gather additional evidence. Consider the application for more fully and for other reasonable purposes. Does the commission wish to make their decision tonight?
I do.
Hereby call for a motion. A motion and a second will be needed to proceed to the
Trying to
deliberations.
find page 25 again. Here it is. I make a motion to approve with the proposed conditions of 1 through 4. And those are the ones that staff went through about the tentative plan approval, the access easement to parcel 2, future private well to serve parcel 2. At the time of final plat recording, they'll record a non-remonstrative agreement for deferral of street frontage improvements and record a split zone covenant. And then following the Lynn County approval, the applicant will provide the city of Tangent with a copy of the recorded plat and all associated conveyance documents for inclusion in the official record of the land use action.
I second that motion.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. All those approve?
Aye.
Aye. And I guess that's it. We're all ayes. So decision of the planning commission may be appealed by the city council within 10 days from the date of the decision on a form which may be obtained from the city hall during the regular business hours. Appeals, if any, to be heard Monday, July 13th at 7 p.m. It's been approved.
and the solar farm update that was added to the agenda.
I'm sorry?
The solar farm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so because you all know that I'm obsessed with the solar park down in Harrisburg. The company did come back, I think it was about a week before their 1 year that they had to answer all the things on their original application. They did come down to, I think, about 900 acres, so they've come down to a smaller amount, but it's still moving forward. Some of the things of concerns that I'll be meeting with Friends of Muddy Creek tomorrow is there is a landing strip close by, reflection from solar panels. Also, any potential for grazing, if we were going to try and do grazing underneath, which some other folks are doing, the solar panels have to be raised up and things so the animals can get underneath there. So it's still kind of ongoing, and we have moved forward and have talked to Lynn County commissioners about having Lynn County have a moratorium like Marion County does on no solar parks in the county. And so that is slowly moving forward as well. Again, we're not affected totally here, but we do have exclusively farm use within the city limits of Tangent. So somebody could come and do this. And then remember, the biggest issue is that it bypasses all of our land use codes. They can go straight to the Department of Energy and get approval, and that's what's happening in Harrisburg. So more to come on that. Anybody that wants to attend anything or get on the mailing list, just let me know. But we were kind of hoping it was down to the wire. They were going to drop it.
Drop
They
it.
didn't. Yeah.
Drop the ball, yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I had on that.
It's interesting.
Right. Let's see. Agenda, citizen comments. We have reached the end of the agenda. I hereby adjourn the meeting.
No,
No?
Knife River, are we supposed to be doing anything about that?
Knife River?
Knife River,
Not done.
that was in my packet that I got.
Yeah, I just read a pre-app notes. We had a pre-app with them.
Yeah, that's the
Okay,
pre-application
so
notes.
we don't need, that was just,
Okay.
just for our information.
Okay, at this time.
All right.
Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That caught me too,
Yeah.
that, because I thought it was, and then I was like, oh,
And I
wait,
didn't
that's
see it
a
in any of
pre-app.
my stuff. I did see it on the East Group. So,
Yeah, it's in the manager's report area, I think,
Mhm.
is where I found it. Because remember, we asked that we wanted to hear about
Science skills.
these things that were going into the
we did.
pre-apps,
We
so.
did.
Yeah.
But